alphabetical order by municipal unit. Then I'll ask Dan McDougal to provide a presentation on all three corporations. Following the presentation, I will turn back to each mayor and warden for questions of clarification.
Who is that?
Next will be an opportunity for each council to debate and pass resolutions. As you know, the current interim IMSA expires June 30th, only in a few days' time.
Don't debate.
And if at all possible, the new and amended IMSAs should be adopted today, especially as it will take time to gather signatures following adoption. All 8 municipal units are proposed owners of the new IMSA to be called Valley Regional Services, but not all 8 owners of King's Transit or Valley Waste. Municipal units that are not owners are asked not to speak to those IMSAs. Finally, when all councils have passed resolutions, I will ask each mayor and warden to take a motion to adjourn their meetings. Lastly, because we have 8 meetings to go through, I do not want to eliminate debate. But we're not looking for rock stars tonight on YouTube.
No.
So, unless you want to be here all night, I would ask each mayor and warden to try to move the meeting along to the best of their ability. So, first of all, I'm going to call the meeting to order, approval agenda and disclosure of conflict of interest, along with the fact that you have a quorum. So, to start out with, I'm going to ask Warden LeBlanc of the municipality of the County of Annapolis to call their meeting to order, take roll call, and ask for a motion to approve the agenda, and ask if there's any conflict of interest on their council. Warden LeBlanc.
Thank you, Mayor Corkum. Good evening. We are here tonight to our special session. We are going to call for roll call. District 1.
Carrie Ann Parsons Salzman.
District 2, Jesse Hare.
District 3, Dustin Enslow.
District 4, Charles Creighton.
District 5, Lynn Longmire.
District 6, John Welch.
District 7, Ted Agambar.
District 8, Niall Harding.
District 9, Gidget Oxner.
District 10, Brian Fuzzy Connell.
District 11, Diane LeBlanc, and Warden. We need the approval of the agenda. Do we unanimously approve the agenda? Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any conflict of interest? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you, Warden. Now I'll ask Mayor Boyer of the town of Annapolis Royal to please call your meeting to order, take roll call, and ask for a motion to approve the agenda, and ask if there's any conflict of interest, please.
We are calling this meeting to order at 7:05, special meeting of council on June 23rd, 2025, at 7:06 p.m. The agenda is approved by unanimous consent. If the motion is requested, no one can disclose the conflict of interest. Now is present. Everyone is accounted for. We have 2 absences, Councilor Heather Sackowski and Councilor Dell McDonald.
Okay, thank you. And now I would ask Mayor Ternasty of the town of Berwick, please call your meeting to order, take roll call, and ask for a motion to approve the agenda, and if there's any conflict of interest on your council.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the special meeting of the town of Berwick. I will call this meeting to order. And we have Councilor Serino, Councilor Walsh, Councilor Flanagan, Councilor Jameson are present, absent tonight, Councilor Lutz and Councilor Carter. And can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please? Councilor Walsh, seconded by Councilor Sereno. All those in favor say aye. Aye. The motion's carried. And I'll ask if anyone has, want to disclose any conflict of interest in tonight's topic. Hearing none, we're ready to move on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next is the municipality of the District of Digby, Warden Gregory. Please call your meeting to order, take roll call, ask for a motion to approve the agenda, and ask if there's any conflict of interest, please.
You're going to call the meeting to order. It's a special meeting. For our roll call, George Manzer, Councilor. Joan Ross, Councilor. Matt Ross, Deputy Warden. Peter Stern, Councilor. Myself, Gregory Warden. I would like approval of the agenda, please. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded, motion carried. Now I will ask, is there any conflict of interest? Hearing none, I will say there is no conflict of interest.
Thank you, Warden Gregory. Mayor Zabian of the town of Kentville, please call your meeting to order, take roll call, ask for a motion to approve the agenda, and ask if there's any conflict of interest on your agenda, or on your council.
Thank you, Mayor Corkum. Welcome to the special meeting of the council of June 23rd, 2025. We have present tonight Deputy Mayor Cole, Councilor Hamilton, Councilor Maxwell, Councilor Savage. I have regrets from Councilor Andrew and Councilor Baker. Council, I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda presented.
I so move that.
Okay, Deputy Mayor Cole, and a seconder,
Second, Savage.
Savage. So, I guess all those in favor are gonna have to unmute and just virtually raise your hand or say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Then, perfect. Are there any conflict of interest issues we should be made aware of this evening before we commence? There being none, we're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Zabian. As the mayor of the municipality of the County of Kings, I would call this special meeting of council to order on June 23rd, 2025. I would declare all members of council are present with the exception of Deputy Mayor Peckford.
Dave, I'm here.
Oh, you're online, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, excuse me, the only counselors that are not present then are Councilor Emily Lutz and Councilor Bobby Best. All the rest of us are here. I would ask for a counselor to make a motion to approve the agenda, please. Moved by Councilor Gates, second by Councilor McPherson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Okay. It was moved by Councilor Gates, second by Councilor McPherson. So, is there any counselor that would like to declare a conflict of interest on anything we're dealing with tonight? No? Okay. So we will now move on then. Mayor Smith, could you call your meeting to order for the town of Middleton and approve the agenda and ask if there's, take roll call and ask if there's any conflict of interest.
Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order, the special meeting for June 23rd, 2025. All our members of council are here, and we have a quorum. And do I have a motion to approve the agenda? John, Councilor Bartlett, and seconded by Councilor Archibald. Can we have a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Do we have any conflict of interest with this tonight? Okay, no problem. All right, we're good to go.
Great, thank you, Mayor Smith. Now finally, Mayor McKay of the town of Oakville, please call your meeting to order. Take roll call, ask for a motion to approve the agenda, and ask if there's any conflict of interest.
Thank you, Mayor Corcoran. Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll call the special joint council meeting of June 23rd to order, and I would ask for an approval of the agenda, please. Okay, moved by Councilor Palmer, seconder. Thank you, Councilor Butler. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, that is carried. We have full quorum, everyone is present, and I'll ask if there are any declarations of conflict of interest for anything on the agenda this evening. Hearing none, I will pass it back to you, Mayor Corcoran.
Thank you, Mayor McKay. Okay, so the number 5 on the agenda here is that I will be asking Dan McDougall to make a presentation, and then I'll ask all council to save their questions of clarification till after the presentation, when the individual councils have had an opportunity to ask their questions. So, Mr. McDougall, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mayor Corcoran. Good evening, mayors, wardens, councils, and staff from the 8 municipalities. Great to be with you this evening. Before I start my presentation, I just wanted to thank the CAO committee and Dwight Wynot, Andrew Garrett, Dan Levy, and Meg Hodges over the since the fall of 2024, leading up till essentially June of this year. We met on numerous occasions to develop governance funding and agreements that are consensus of the CAO committee and have been endorsed for your consideration. 2 weeks ago, I approximately presented to the IMSA board, and there's a more detailed slide deck and request for decision that was shared with the municipality. So this evening's presentation is a shorter version of that. There'll be 2 slides, quick background of the existing agreements, and then a number of slides with the highlights for the new agreements. I'll attempt to share my screen now. Can you see my screen, the slide deck?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear.
Great. Okay. So the existing, there's an existing pilot board intermunicipal service agreement. The board composition for the existing board consists of the 8 municipalities that are participating this evening. The original 7 members started in 2021, and the District of Digby joined last summer. Both King's Transit and Valley Waste Authority are parties to the agreement and have delegated their authority to the IMSA board. As Mayor Corcoran already identified, the current agreement expires at the end of this month. In terms of the existing Valley Waste and King's Transit agreement for Valley Waste, there are currently 6 core partners and 1 service partner. The service partner is Annapolis County. Kings, Wolfville, Kentville, Berwick, Middleton, Annapolis, Royal are the core partners. For King's Transit, there are 4 core partners: Kings, Kentville, Wolfville, and Berwick. There are 2 service partners, Annapolis County and the District of Digby. The towns within the service partners have been providing an annual grant to the service partner.
Dan, sorry to interrupt you. This is Yanni here. I wonder if you can try sharing your other screen, because we're only seeing a small version of your presentation.
Okay.
You go through the display settings, and then right at the top of your screen, and then you can switch to the main presentation.
I missed that instruction. Can you repeat that, please?
That's sure. So you start the presentation again,
Was he dying?
That would be the, okay, I go to display settings at the top,
Got it?
and now we swap to the,
Yeah.
there we go.
Thank you.
That's better.
Thank you very much. So that was the first slide that identified which municipalities are currently members of the pilot intermunicipal service agreement. So I identified the 8 parties that are participating this evening are all members, with Digby, the District of Digby joining in the summer of 2024, with the original 7 starting in 2021. Kings Transit and Valley Waste are parties to the agreement, and that expires at the end of June. The existing parties to the Valley Waste and Kings Transit agreement are identified here. For Valley Waste, there are 6 core partners: Kings, Wolfville, Kentville, Berwick, Middleton, Annapolis, Royal, and Annapolis County is currently a service partner. For Kings Transit, 4 core partners: Kings, Kentville, Wolfville, and Berwick, with 2 service partners, Annapolis County and the District of Digby. Middleton and Annapolis Royal have been providing a grant to Annapolis County, and the town of Digby has been providing a grant to the District of Digby. What's being recommended is 3 intermunicipal service agreements. The Valley Regional Service Agreement will replace the pilot intermunicipal service agreement. The 8 municipalities participating tonight are proposed to be parties to that agreement. There are 7 parties recommended to be party to the Valley Waste Agreement: Kings, Wolfville, Kentville, Berwick, Annapolis, Middleton, and Annapolis Royal. So Annapolis County would be rejoining Valley Waste. For Kings Transit, there are 7 parties: Kings, Wolfville, Kentville, and Berwick. In addition, new parties would be Annapolis County, Middleton, and the District of Digby. For Annapolis, they have agreed and would be responsible for the Annapolis Royal funding share, and Annapolis County will work with the town of Annapolis Royal to work out a suitable arrangement. The town of Digby has opted out, and service through the town, transit service through the town, will come to an end. In terms of key provisions in the agreements, the board of directors will consist of 8 directors, the mayor or the warden for each of the parties. Alternate directors will be appointed by each of the councils and must be a member of council. They can attend meetings, but can only participate in discussion and vote when their director is absent. Chair and vice chairs to be selected annually. It must be from a municipality that is a party to both the Valley Waste and the KTA agreement. All members must vote on all questions unless there's a conflict. If a director does not vote, then the vote is considered in the negative. That's the same rules that you would have in your respective councils. So again, in terms of eligibility to vote, there are 8 parties who will be eligible to vote for Valley Regional Service and 7 each for Valley Waste and Kings Transit. Decision-making is by simple majority except for special resolutions. Special resolution matters are budget approval and borrowing. Special resolutions requires a majority of the directors and must include the King's director. The powers for both Valley Waste and KTA are in the existing, were in the existing agreements and have been updated in the proposed Valley Waste and KTA agreements. For budget approval, one of the changes is budget will now be approved by the board. There will no longer be a recommendation to the parties. Budget must be submitted to the board no later than 90 days before the start of the fiscal year, and prior to that, consultation with the CAOs must occur before it's submitted to the board. The budget will identify the installment payment plan for the parties. There'll be 4 quarterly installments, but they do not have to be equal installments. They can be what is appropriate for the operations of both those respective organizations. There's a dispute resolution for general matters, for mediation first, and if that does not result in resolution, then the party may send the matter to arbitration. For budget, there's also a dispute resolution mechanism. If a special resolution fails to pass because the King's director voted against it, King's will have 30 days to submit a budget to the board. If the King's budget fails to pass, then it will be sent to arbitration within 30 days, if possible. The arbitrator can select the initial budget proposed by staff, the King's budget, or elements of each. Any party can provide supplementary services through Valley Waste or King's Transit, but supplementary services must be approved in a policy by the board and at the cost of the municipality requesting supplementary services. In terms of assets and borrowings, all organizations will have the authority to borrow. The parties may also borrow or provide from their own resources. For existing Valley Waste debt, the guarantees of the parties will be updated to reflect Annapolis County rejoining. For King's Transit, there is no existing debt, and Annapolis and Digby will transfer one bus each for net book value to King's Transit. For funding formula for Valley Waste, it's the current or existing formula. The net cost of Valley Waste will be shared using a formula that's based on 50% of the uniform assessment of the parties and 50% based on population. For King's Transit, the formula is 1/3 each. The first third is based on the taxable assessments in the 2-kilometer transit service corridor, so 1 kilometer either side of the transit route. 1/3 will be based on the dwelling units in the 2-kilometer transit corridor. That's thought to be a good proxy for population, and that data is readily available. And the third element is the service time, so the productive service times of the transit service running through each municipality. For KTA, I should say for Valley Waste, the current budget, 25-26, was approved based on the current funding formula. So no additional provisions were identified by the CAO committee there. But for KTA, what's proposed is the first quarter payment by the parties will use the existing approach for the core partners and the service partners, and the remaining 3 quarters will use the proposed new formula for operating and capital expenditures with a transition provision, where those municipalities that have an increase in cost will only see 50% of the increase, and those municipalities realizing a savings will only realize 50% of the savings in the first fiscal year. I believe that's the presentation, Mayor Corkum. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McDougall, and we'll now go to questions of clarification, and we'll start out in alphabetical order again. So I would call on Warden LeBlanc. Does Annapolis County Council have any questions of clarification of Mr. McDougall on his presentation?
Council, do we have any questions for Mr. McDougall? No. Seeing none, Mayor Corkum, I'm bringing it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Warden. Mayor Boyer of Annapolis Royal, are there any questions of your council to Mr. McDougall?
No, there are none, thank you.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mayor Ternasty, is there any questions from Berwick, please?
Just a note before I ask Council, Councilor Goddard did join our meeting at 7:11. And now I'll ask Council, is there any questions or clarification from Mr. McDougall? Hearing none, we'll move it back to you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Warden Gregory, District of Digby, any questions?
No.
There's no questions from our council, so I'm going to get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Warden. Kenful, is any questions, Mayor Zabian, from your council?
Thank you, Mayor Corkum. Council, are there any questions of clarification? I guess there's none. Thank you, Mayor Corkum.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions from councilors of the County of Kings? No? Okay, that's no questions from the County of Kings. We'll move on then. Mayor Smith, does Middleton Council have any questions, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Is there any questions from council? No questions? Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mayor Smith. And finally, Mayor McKay, any questions of the Wolfville Town Council?
There are no questions from Wolfville, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor McKay. Okay, we'll move on to debates and resolutions. It's now time for debate and resolutions. The motions to be passed by each council will be shown on the screen based on proposed ownership status. As previously mentioned, all 8 municipal units are proposed owners for the new IMSA, but not all are 8 Kings Transit or Valley Waste. So, starting again, Warden LeBlanc of the County of Annapolis, please ask your council to consider the motions on the screen. Following the debate, if the motions have been moved and seconded, please take the vote and declare the motion passed or defeated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Corkum. I'd like to volunteer for our first motion. Deputy Warden Enslow.
Thank you. I move that council adopt the new intermunicipal service agreement for Valley Regional Services, which is substantially the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the interprovincial service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the new agreement also adopts the agreement.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Aguilar. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion passed. Second motion, Councillor Longmire.
I move that council adopt the amended IMSA for the Kings Transit Authority, which is substantively the same except for the minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the interim intermunicipal service agreement on June 11th, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement.
Thank you, Councillor. I need a seconder, Councillor Oxner. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion passed. Third motion, Councillor Aguilar.
I move that council adopt the amended IMSA for the Valley Regional Solid Waste Resource Management Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the interim intermunicipal service agreement on June the 11th, 2025, on condition that the councils of the other intended parties to amended agreement also adopt the agreement.
Thank you very much. I need a seconder, Councillor Carson Salzman. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion passed. To you, Mayor Corkum.
Thank you, Warden LeBlanc. I must say the County of Annapolis did that very well. So now we're going to go to the Mayor Boyer for the Town of Annapolis Royal. Please ask your council to consider the motions on the screen. Following the debate, if the motions have been moved and seconded, please take the vote and declare the motions passed or defeated, please.
Thank you. Councillor Lamar. I move that council adopt the new intermunicipal service agreement for Valley Regional Services, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the interim intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that councils of the other intended parties to the new agreement also adopt the agreement. A second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. I move that council adopt the amended IMSA for the Valley Regional Solid Waste Resource Management Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the Intermunicipal Service Agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement. I'll second that. So that was moved by Councillor Sybil Skinner Robertson. All in favor? Aye. Aye, motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, very good, well done. Now we'll go to Mayor Ternasty, and your turn to ask Berwick Council to consider the motions on the screen following the debate. If the motions have been moved and seconded, please take the vote and declare the motions passed or defeated, please.
Thank you, Mayor Corcoran. Council, we have a motion before us. The council adopt the new intermunicipal service agreement for Valley Regional Services, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that councils of the other intended parties to the new agreement also adopt the agreement. We have someone move that, please. Councillor Sereno, a seconder. Councillor Walsh, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. The motion is carried. We have a second motion before us, that council adopt the amended IMSA for the King's Transit Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement. We have someone move that, please. Councillor Jameson, do we have a seconder? Councillor Blacknett, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. The motion is carried. And we have a third one, council adopt the amended IMSA for the Valley Regional Solid Waste Resource Management Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement. If someone who would move that, please. Councillor Walsh, seconder. Councillor Goddard. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Our motion is carried. Back to you, Mayor Clark.
Thank you, Mayor Ternasty. Warren Gregory of the District of Digby, please ask our council to consider the motions on the screen following the debate. If the motions have been moved and seconded, please take the vote and declare the motions passed or defeated, please.
Councillor Ross? I move that council adopt the new intermunicipal service agreement for Valley Regional Services, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal services agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the new agreement also adopt the agreement. Seconded. Councilor Manson? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried. The next motion, Councilor Manson?
The council adopt the amended IMSA, King's Transit Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the council of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement.
Seconded by Councilor Joan Ross. Any discussion, concerns? All in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Mayor Corcoran, both of our have passed.
Great, thank you very much, Warden Gregory. We'll move on to Mayor Zabian. Please ask Kent Full Council to consider the motions on the screen. Following the debate, if the motions have been moved and seconded, please take the vote and declare the motions passed or defeated.
Thank you, Mayor Snow. Council, please unmute your mics. The first motion is that council adopt the new intermunicipal service agreement for Valley Regional Services, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the new agreement also adopt the agreement. Someone can move that?
I will move that, Mayor Zabian.
Deputy Mayor Kroll, and a seconder,
Second, and Savage.
Councilor Savage. Any discussion on that? I will call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Kroll,
Yes.
Councilor Hamilton,
Yes.
Councilor Maxwell,
Yes.
Councilor Savage,
Yes.
and I say yes, the motion is carried. The second motion is that council adopt the amended IMSA for the King's Transit Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement. Someone could move that?
I will move that.
Deputy Mayor Kroll, and a seconder.
Second, Councilor Savage.
Any discussion on that? There being none, I'll call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Kroll,
Yes.
Councilor Hamilton,
Yes.
Councilor Maxwell,
Yes.
Councilor Savage,
Yes.
and I say yes, the motion is carried. And the last one is that council adopt the amended IMSA for the Valley Regional Solid Waste Resource Management Authority, which is substantively the same except for the minor differences in form as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement. Someone can move that?
I will move that.
Deputy Mayor Kroll, and a seconder.
I'll second, Savage.
Savage. Any discussion? We'll call for the vote. Deputy Mayor Kroll,
Yes.
Councilor Hamilton,
Yes.
Councilor Maxwell,
Yes.
Councilor Savage,
Yes.
and I say yes, the motion is carried. Thank you very much, and thank you, Mayor Corcoran.
Thank you, Mayor Zabian. Now for the County of Kings, for the first one, I'll ask Councilor Sappington to read it, please.
I move that council adopt the new intermunicipal service agreement for Valley Regional Services, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form as recommended by the Board of Directors of the interim intermunicipal service agreement on June 11th, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the new agreement also adopt the agreement.
Have a seconder for that, please. Second by Councilor Harding. Is there any further debate? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. For the second one, I'll ask Councilor Harding to read, please.
That the council adopt the amended IMSA for the King's Transit Authority, which is substantially the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11th, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement.
Second by Councilor McPherson. Any further debate?
Nay.
And you so moved, right, Councilor Harding? Yes. Okay, any further debate? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please. Aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. And the third one, I'll ask Councilor Gates to move it and read it, please. There you go.
Say, for the Valley Regional Solid Waste Resource Management Authority, which is substantially the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the interim intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement. I so move.
Okay, and we have second by Councilor Sappington. Okay, any further debate? All those in favor signify by saying aye, please. Aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Okay, so everyone's carried. Now we will move on to Mayor Smith, the town of Wolfville. Please have your council consider the motions on the screen following the debate. If the motions have been moved and seconded, please take the vote and declare the motions passed or defeated.
Thank you, Mayor Copeland. Councilor Marshall will read the first motion.
I'll move that council adopt the new intermunicipal service agreement for Valley Regional Services, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the interim intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the new agreement also adopt the agreement.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilor Bartlett. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion carried. The second one, Councilor Smith is going to do.
I'll move the council adopt the amended IMSA for the King's Transit Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the interim intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. And the third motion, Councilor Knapp.
I move council adopt the amended IMSA for the Valley Regional Solid Waste Resource Management Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Mayor Corkum.
Wow, great job. Thank you, Mayor Smith. And now, Mayor McKay, please have Wolfville Council consider the motions on the screen. Following the debate, if the motions have been moved and seconded, please take the vote and declare the motions passed or defeated.
Thank you, Mayor Corkum. Deputy Mayor, would you read the first motion on adoption of the new Valley Regional Services, please? Thank you, Mayor McKay. I would move that council adopt the new intermunicipal service agreement for Valley Regional Services, which is substantively the same, except for minor differences in form as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June 11, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the new agreement also adopt the agreement. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councilor Butler. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? That is carried unanimously. Second motion, adoption of amended King's Transit Authority and South. Thank you, Mayor. I would move that council adopt the amended IMSA for the King's Transit Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June the 11th, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement. Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councilor Elliott. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? That is carried unanimously. and adoption of the amended Valley Regional Solid Waste Resource Management Authority. And so, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I would move that council adopt the amended IMSA for the Valley Regional Solid Waste Resource Management Authority, which is substantively the same except for minor differences in form, as recommended by the Board of Directors of the intermunicipal service agreement on June the 11th, 2025, on the condition that the councils of the other intended parties to the amended agreement also adopt the agreement.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councilor Palmer. Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, that too is carried unanimously, and I'll pass it back to Mayor Corkum.
Thank you very much, Mayor McKay, and I must say, before we move on to adjournment, I'm very impressed with how all the councils went through this. This is quite an exercise to have 8 separate councils and the whole works, and I assured our CAO, Scott Conrad, that we could get through this in an hour, and I'm not so sure he was. Is your CAO as skeptical as he was? Probably not, but anyway, we're working on it. He's doing better all the time, so.
Oh, boy!
We now come to the end of our meeting. I look forward to working with you, all under the new Valley Regional Services IMSA. Thank you all for attending, and I will now ask each council to pass a motion to adjourn. So, as we started with alphabetical order, Warden LeBlanc, the County of Annapolis, please ask your council for a motion to adjourn.
As there is no further business today, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Warden LeBlanc. Next is Annapolis Royal Mayor Boyer.
There being no further business to conduct, this meeting is adjourned.
Okay, Mayor Tenacity, the Town of Berwick, please ask for a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn, please. Councilor Strino, motion to adjourn accepted. Meeting is over. Thank you very much, everybody, tonight.
Okay. Warden Gregory, District of Digby, is next.
To adjourn. Second. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Mayor Zabey, the Town of Kentford, are you ready to adjourn?
We are. I just want to apologize, Mayor Corkum. I called you Mayor Snow a few minutes ago in error, and I apologize.
I'm gonna tell you, you didn't see no shake of my fist on the screen, did you?
Council, make a motion to adjourn. I move. Deputy Mayor Kroll and a seconder.
Second.
Councilor Maxwell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Zabey, and I accept your apology. I think CAO Conrad really enjoyed that though. Now I've asked for a motion from Kings County Council to adjourn. Moved by Councilor Harding, second by Councilor Allen. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. I move that we adjourn. Next, Mayor Smith at the Town of Middleton. Please move to adjourn.
Don't choke.
Move to adjourn. Do we have any further business?
I'll make a move to be here.
So second. Okay. Come on. We're adjourned.
Thank you very much, Mayor Smith. And finally, Mayor McKay of Wolfville, please move to adjourn.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Thank you, Councilor Butler. We are adjourned.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and again, thanks everyone for attending, and thank you, Dan, for your presentation, and everyone that joined us, and Robbie and Riley for joining us virtually. And everyone, have a good evening. Thank you very much.
Wrap it up.
Thank you.
Are we done?
So funny.
Are we off
You know,
now,
they
man?
didn't.
That wasn't too bad.
Oh.